Welcome to my channel everybody, my name is Dan from Fitness with Dan, and today I'll be sharing with you an intermediate lower body conditioning program. Okay, so we've got 5 exercises today. We've got a full clean, a backward lunge with a double twist and a high knee, side lunge with a twist, a single arm swing, and a dumbbell lateral step over. So if all of those movements seem quite familiar to you or you don't want any instruction on them, please skip ahead to the video and make sure you've had a warm up. If you want a little bit of coaching on them, stick around because I'm going to go through them now. Okay, so first things first guys, if you're not very comfortable and familiar with your deadlift pattern, your squat pattern and your lunge patterns, you might want to try a different video. This one is quite fast paced and technical. Either on their own is fine, both together you don't really have time to think about positioning. So if you're not comfortable with those patterns, like I said, please find a different video that's slightly less technical and fast paced. Now, the structure of what we're doing, every exercise is going to be 30 seconds, okay? There's no breaks at all. 30 seconds for everything. 3 of the movements are unilateral, so there'll be 30 seconds each side. And then we have a nice 60-second rest at the end of each circuit. We're going to repeat that circuit 4 times. And all you need for this video is 1 dumbbell. So full cleans to start off, guys. Now, the way I want you holding the dumbbell is going to be going from this position to a goblet type position, but really and truly it depends on the type of dumbbell that you have and the weight of the dumbbell you have, and well, the shape of the dumbbell you have is the main thing here. So I'm going to talk you through the actual exercise itself and the dynamics, and then I'll show you a couple different options of holding it and transitioning depending on the type and the shape of dumbbell you're working with. Okay, so the movement itself, guys, is essentially a power clean if any of you have done any Olympic lifting before. So we are going from a deadlift position and then using our hip extensors to create momentum to bring this up to here, and then going into a squat position and coming in and out of that. Now, it's quite fast paced, and what I really want you guys to focus on is the difference between the deadlift and squat position, okay? So I don't want to see any of this type stuff, and I don't want to see any of this type stuff. Okay, you want to differentiate between the 2 positions. Okay, so 1, where you're down here, is a small bend at the knee and a big bend at the hips. 2, when you're up here, is a big bend at the knee and a big bend at the hips. Okay, so make sure you're differentiating between the 2. Now, hip extension is the main thing we're looking at here when we're raising the dumbbell up. So my arms are straight and I pretty much do a deadlift, okay, but I do one so powerfully that when I bend my arms just a little bit to raise it, I don't want to use my arms much at all, the dumbbell's going to fly upwards, okay? Now when it flies up, I'm going to catch it in this goblet position, okay? But the idea behind this, guys, is that we don't actually lift the dumbbell up to this height. We're only going to lift it this high, okay? Because I want you guys to drop underneath it. So I'll try and show you in slow motion, it's a bit tricky, but essentially we've got full extension at the hips, it comes up to about here, and then we stick our bums out and quickly drop into a squat as we catch this. Stand up, and then we use the momentum of that stand up to push it off and reverse our grip back into the deadlift position, okay? So extend, drop down and catch, push off, hinge into a deadlift. Hip bend, knee bend, hip bend, knee bend. Now, hand position. If you've got a dumbbell that you can hold in the way I have, like so, and then in a goblet position, perfect, that's what we're looking for. But you're going to have different sort of shapes and sizes of dumbbells, so you can kind of hold it like so and do your deadlift like so and come up here. Again, it depends on the kind of dumbbell you have. If you've got small dumbbells and the sort of the large bit, the plated bit of the dumbbell, it's just not big enough to get your fingers around or your palms around when you're going through the positions, then you can use 2 dumbbells, and this is going to be exactly like a power clean, like a normal full power clean with dumbbells, but it follows the same rules. Hip hinge, full extension, these come up a little bit and I drop underneath. Okay, so have a little play around. Like I said, it depends on the shape, size and weight of your dumbbell, but find a grip that's going to work for you. Okay, so next up, our backward lunge with a double twist. I'm assuming you guys all know how to do a backward lunge. Yeah, I'll just very, very quickly talk you through a couple things. So we're looking for 90 degrees, straight line from knee, hip to shoulder, and that's pretty much your backward lunge. Stay upright, shoulders back and down, etc, etc. But really and truly, if you don't know all that, you shouldn't be doing this video in the first place, and you should be finding something a little bit more, a little bit less technical. Now, with the double twist, so we're going to be first of all adding a high knee to the movement. So when we stand up, we raise our knee up to here and then drop straight back in. Okay, so it's a little bit more fast paced and it's a little bit more explosive. Now the double twist, you're going to twist towards the leg that's in front of you each time. Okay, so when I'm going downwards, if I go back with my right leg, I'm going to twist towards my left leg, and when I'm coming up, I'm going to twist in the opposite direction. So it's always toward the knee or leg that's in front of you, okay? So it's this same rhythm as when you're walking. You know, when you walk, you've got opposite limbs out in front. If you were to sort of follow that motion into a rotation, you'd find yourself here. It's the same thing with the direction of the backward lunge twist. So when you're doing it, think about it for the first rep, the first up, the first down. After that, you should have a rhythm. That rhythm's not going to break. It's actually continually twisting, okay? And do be careful, because that twist is really going to throw your balance off. So pay attention to foot placement on the way down, okay? You can explode a bit on the way up, but on the way down, that needs to be fairly controlled so that you can get that foot placed hip width apart, not behind, not out to the side too much, and toe pointing forwards, not up here. And also at the right distance, so not too close, not too far. So it's quite a lot to think about, it's quite fast paced. So side lunges with a twist, you won't need a dumbbell for this one. Easier either. Now I'm assuming you guys can do a side lunge, but very quickly I'm going to go through it anyway. So both feet pointing forwards, big step out to the side as you load that leg, and the direction of your body is not going straight to the side, it's going back, down and to the side. Okay, so it's more like a squat position, right? And we're looking to always land with both feet pointing directly forwards, okay? Chest is nice and high, and we've got extension at the spine. Last little thing, the trailing leg, make sure the ankle doesn't roll, make sure you're not locking that knee. Always have a small bend at it so you've got some stability there. Now, when we do the twisting, so there's a bit more of an absorption element to it. It's not high impact, but the impact does increase because our leg is going from here to the floor as opposed from here to the floor, so it's much more of a downward motion, okay? So when you strike the floor from here, you want to absorb, okay? There shouldn't be a sound to you landing. Absorbed, and then when we go up, we're going to explode. Again, it's not just back to the side now, there's an upward element, so we need to push up to raise that knee, and then just like the backward lunge with the double twist, we're going to twist toward it, okay? And something I forgot to mention on the backward lunge double twist, it's the same here in terms of head position. We're always looking forwards, okay? So even though my hips are going to go that way, and my torso is going to go that way, and my head is going to stay looking forwards with both of those exercises, okay? And I'm going to need that for balance. Okay, single arm swings, guys. This is pretty much a kettlebell swing or a single arm kettlebell swing. So it's more the hip hinge exercise, and it's gonna have some similarities to your full clean. Okay, I'll talk more about that in a second. But essentially, we've got a wide stance with toes slightly pointed out and knees forced out. Okay, and then from there, we're just going to be taking the dumbbell in between our legs, get a little bit of momentum going, and then we're basically deadlifting, okay? But very, very powerfully, okay? And when we do so, we're going to use the momentum of the arm already being in a swing to then take it up to about this position, okay? Depending on your flexibility and stuff, you can go anywhere from sort of here to about here, but don't go up there, okay? Because it's going to kind of slow you down a little bit, and I want your heart rate going. So I'll just show you a couple reps, and then I'll talk a little bit. Okay, so as you can see, it's a powerful thrust at the hips, and my glutes are doing most of the work there. So as I thrust forwards, I'm going to squeeze my butt cheeks together like I'm trying to hold a piece of paper. Now, in terms of the similarity to the full clean, the position is similar in terms of a powerful hip extension exercise, but also because the arms are involved. You know, with the full clean, we raised it up to here a little bit, but we weren't trying to use our arms. It's the same thing with this, okay? So that arm is just there to guide you, to stabilize you a little bit, but all the power is going to come from your arse, okay? So your shoulders should be nice and relaxed. If you feel this more in your arm, then your glutes, your legs, and your lungs, then you're gripping that too tight, or you're pulling up and raising with your shoulder like this too much, okay? This is just there to stabilize and control motion, okay? So watch how floppy the dumbbell on my arm are. Okay, now, so the way up's powerful. The way down, you do want to control it a little bit, okay? So I go, then I'm controlling it a little bit from here to here, but really I'm just kind of letting it fall and guiding it in an arc so it doesn't go firing forwards into the wall. But the real work comes in when I get from about here, and as I bend here, I need to decelerate and then explode very sharply, okay? So I bring it in, I get into my full hip flexion, and very powerfully thrust it back forwards. So now let's talk about spine position. So it's like a deadlift in terms of you want extension, you want the bend to be hip dominant, but there's also a bit of rotation because it's single arm, and that's okay. So don't worry about that if you feel like you're going off center and wobbling and stuff, that you will rotate. You can't avoid it, and it's good. But we need to keep extension. So have a look at my shoulders. So when I do a normal deadlift or a kettlebell swing, you can see they're level, right? With a single arm swing, that's going to pull me into this position, right? And that's absolutely fine. But from the side, you can see I've not flexed or anything. I've still got extension, right? And that is your single arm swing. Right, so dumbbell step over or dumbbell lateral step over. This is basically like a skater jump or a skater step or whatever it's called. I'm going to show you without the dumbbell first. Now, our focus here is foot placement, absorption, and counterbalancing. Let me show you. So we start off with both feet pointing directly forwards and some room to jump to on the side, so just one side of the mat to the other, okay? Now, when we start, if I lift my right leg up, the leg closest to the direction I'm going to jump in, I'm going to extend that right leg and that right arm, okay? So leg goes backwards, arm goes forwards. Then the other arm that you're not too sure what to do with, that's going to go backwards ever slightly. So if we look at me from a side view, what's happened now is we've got opposite limbs going in opposite directions essentially, okay? So right arm is going forwards, left arm is going backwards, left leg is going forwards, right leg is going backwards. And that's going to help counterbalance us when we land. You'll kind of get the coordination to that as you go. It should be fairly natural. Now, foot placement. So we said we're starting with toes pointing forwards. We want to be landing with that whoop, didn't counterbalance, with that foot pointing forwards. Okay, so if you watch the feet again, pointing forwards the whole time. Now the absorption. So Essentially, when we land, we want that landing to be silent as a mouse. We don't want to be able to hear ourselves land. And the way to do that is to bend all of the joints that are going to bend in the exercise a little bit before you land, and then as your foot strikes the floor, you continue to bend them quite quickly. Okay, you suddenly sort of drop into that bend. So really we're looking at ankle, knee, hip bending simultaneously. Can't show you in slow motion, but you'll kind of get what I mean. So, like so, yeah? I'll show you a couple from the side. Okay, now, all the dumbbell's going to do is add an element of, I guess, strictness. It's going to force us to jump a little bit higher depending on the size of your dumbbell, okay? So, we're just looking to go over that dumbbell. So there's a bit of height to it now. And what we're really looking to do is get as much distance as we can depending on the space that you're working with, okay? So make sure you're counterbalancing, and then it's just a case of jump to the side over the dumbbell, make sure the foot lands straight, absorb, and as soon as you feel you've counterbalanced and absorbed, explode back to the other side. And that is your dumbbell step over. Right, that is all the exercises, guys. So make sure you've got some water next to you, make sure you have had a cool down, and let's get cracking. Right, we're on in 5. Grab your dumbbell or dumbbells. Okay, backward lunges, kick a leg, and off you go. Swap it over. Remember, faster on the way up, slower on the way down, so we can focus on foot placement. Okay, side lunges. Absorb, explode and twist. Keep trying to get that foot to land straight, and remember, very quiet as you land. Swap. Keep the trail leg soft, the trail foot flat on the floor. Swings. Swap. Okay, step overs. Foot placement, absorption, counterbalance. And if you trip over that dumbbell, I don't think you can sue me, because that's just pretty stupid. Time, 60 seconds rest. Whew. 1 down, 3 to go. Drink some water, breathe. Don't sit down, walk around a bit, otherwise you'll start to seize up. I'll show you a different view this round. I'll face the camera so you can see the other things going on. Try and slow your breathing, calm your heart rate. We're back on in 15. Okay, dumbbells up. Starting positions, please. Here we go. Woohoo! Good, okay. Backward lunges. Off you go. Control, explode. Control, explode. Foot placement is really important here, guys. Whoop. Swap it over. And that twist, guys, it's not just your arms moving side to side. Okay, that's useless. The sternum, middle of your chest, needs to come off the center line. Okay? So we get rotation at the torso. Think about showing your shoulder, each shoulder to someone in front of you. Okay, side lunges. Swap it over. Dumbbell up, swings, ooh, light, swap. step overs. Let's go. Time. Whew. Halfway, guys. 2 down, 2 to go. Breathe, move around, some water. Small sips of water, guys. You don't want loads of water jiggling around in your belly when you're moving, especially at high intensities with rotations and this kind of stuff. Not nice. You might have noticed with the last one, the jumps, that when I land, I get most of my stabilization through the absorption of the leg, and that counterbalance kind of kicks in at the end mostly. I land, I begin to counterbalance, and I further reach out as I feel I'm falling that way. Then I explode off. Go again. Right, dumbbells up, you know what to do. Heads up the whole time. Okay, back with lunges. Swap. Side, if you go, foot placement, absorbing, loading, and explode and twist. Swap it over. Swings. Swap. Step overs. Time, rest. I'll do one more to go. Whew. Remember, only sip the water, don't guzzle it down. Move, concentrate on your breathing. 15 seconds. We've got one more round. If you're still finding the movements tricky, keep it slow. If not, ramp it up, get all the energy done. But do not sacrifice form to do so. Okay, dumbbells up, off you go. Okay, lunges. Swap. Side lunges, off you go. Swap. Okay, swings, last one. Swap. step overs. Time, relax. Okay, do whatever for a second, guys. Breathe, drink, sit down. That is you done. Whew. It's well done. That was a pretty sweaty one. I'm doing this in, I think it's about 28 degrees outside. Not a good idea. I hope it's winter for you guys. We've got aircon on. Yeah, very sweaty one. I don't know if you saw, but I think because my socks are so sweaty, on that last skater jump I nearly skidded off. But anyway, thanks for joining me on that. I hope that all went okay. So if you enjoyed that, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the favourites button thingy, so you can go into your favourites and do this program again whenever you want to. Right, have a cool down and have a good day. Thanks.